Okay, today we're going to be focusing on thoracic mobility, a way for you to assess it, and then a way for you to try to work it, right, and regain it or maintain it wherever you are, wherever you fall on that spectrum. Got a couple tools you're going to need to have handy. First, you're going to need a chair, something to sit in, something that doesn't have arms on the side. It could be a stool or a chair. A yardstick. It can also be a broom, and you also don't have to have that. This is just a little tool that it's not mandatory. You need a towel of some sort, preferably this is a beach towel, and I have it folded. What we're going to do, it's folded long ways, and then I'm going to roll it up into the diameter. It's probably, what is that, about, well, I can measure it. How about that? What is that? About 5 inches wide. Now, you also, if you have a foam roller, super. If you don't, again, it's like the ruler, optional. All right, so the first thing I'm going to have you do is assess your thoracic mobility. We're first just going to use this as a baseline for you to figure out where you are. So you're going to sit on the end of your chair, and you're going to take the towel and you're going to put it between your knees. Flip the camera down here so you can see. You're going to actually put it between your knees. What that's going to do is keep you from swaying from side to side. Now, if you have a yoga block, that's fantastic. I have one. It's just down in the basement, and the basement's in chaos. You're going to take this and put it between your knees, and that's going to try to keep your pelvis from shifting and moving. So be aware. You want to sort of root those feet into the ground and really keep still from your pelvis. And what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to put this back up here, is you're going to channel your inner I Dream of Jeannie. If you remember that show from the 70s, you are going to sit nice and tall. From the side, it would look like this, just up nice and tall. You're going to cross your fingers to your elbows so that, if I tip down to show you, shoulders are in line with the elbows, and then elbows form a nice square. Here's where this can come in handy for a visual, to make sure if you do this to your own camera and your computer or in front of a mirror, which might be a little harder to sit in front of a mirror, a camera is a great way to do it to your iPad. You'd see if you were sitting, see how I'm a little crooked? So just get nice and straight. You're going to take a deep breath in. You're going to try to keep your nose in line with, if you're wearing a watch, in line with your watch, or right with the bone on your wrist. You don't want your head to move ahead of your arms. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in and exhale and turn to one side while keeping the hips and knees still. Come back to center and check the other side. Breath in. And make sure you're not breathing up and swallowing your neck with your shoulders. You want to keep your neck long, so take that nice breath in. And then you want to exhale and go to the other side. Then you're going to come back to the center and you're going to breathe again. And you're going to turn to one side. Oops, notice what I did? I let my head get a little ahead of my hands. And I turned my head separate, which is sort of a false way to think you're getting more mobility, and you're not. So breathe in again, turn to the other side. And what you're looking for is to check and make sure that you're able to get this elbow back in line with the shoulder 90 degrees. So if you were to turn, it can only get this far, but can't get that full 90, then that's a restriction. You might notice it's tight on one side or the other. So do that as a baseline. One thing you can do while you're seated, if you notice a restriction, is you can keep that towel between your knees, put it back between my knees, and then you're going to take a breath in And you're just going to slowly reach for the back of your chair and kind of relax there. Take a breath in again. Stay tall through your spine. And then reach as far as you can and do a quick double check and make sure your knees aren't trying to come with you. Come back to center. Roll it out, shake it out, and then do the same thing to the other side. Kind of pause halfway, take a breath in again, and then go again. I am going to pause and look down and just make sure, make any adjustments, and then just rotate. Then, if you do a quick retest, you'll notice you probably feel a little looser to each side. Now, I'm going to move the chair out of the way. That is rotation. It's also important for the thoracic spine to be able to flex and extend. This is extension through the spine. This is flexion. Now, what do you think we get a lot of? Flexion, right? Because we're often here on our phones, on our iPads, typing at our computer, kind of rounding the backs. And you know what else? Driving. Pay attention to your posture when driving. I have really been catching myself lately in my driver's seat like a little old lady, like literally. I could be my 84-year-old mother, like rounding and hunched. So I'm trying to pay attention when I'm driving to just sit up nice and tall, retract my head back to the headrest, which looks a little goofy, but it really helps align. We're looking for a nice vertical alignment. We don't want that forward head posture and that rounded spine. So we get plenty of flexion in everyday life. What we need to make sure is that we're getting extension. So we're going to practice that with this rolled up towel. So what I'm going to do is bring the camera down to the floor. And you're going to put it on the floor. And what I want you to think about here is bra line. So if you put it right at the bra, you will lay down. Now, the one thing I haven't said is that if anything causes pain, you don't do it. So let pain be your guide. If for some reason you're having pain, you need to shoot me a message. It's highly likely that if anything we're doing at any point causes pain, we need to troubleshoot it a bit. You may need to see a doctor or physical therapist. All right, so with that under, right at your bra, I want you to support your head here. You're going to take a breath in, and you're going to just exhale over that towel and ease down to the floor. Kind of hang out here, and then get your elbows down to the floor. Hang out here and breathe. Now remember, in the breathing assessment, we're not looking for just belly breathing. We're not looking for chest breathing. We're looking for a combination of both. I like to call it crocodile breathing, as if you think about a crocodile, if you've ever been at the zoo, watched a crocodile breathe, their bellies not only descend, but they laterally inflate. So you are looking for that belly to inflate as well as your rib cage to move. We want that rib cage. We want the intercostal muscles in between each rib to be able to move. We don't want them locked in and tight. So you can even put your hands on your rib cage here and do some breath work. And guess what just happened? I just felt a lovely little spinal adjustment happen simply by breathing. That's because that diaphragm is up in this rib cage. So by having this little bit of mobility facilitated with the towel under my back and breathing, I got a lovely self-adjustment. This is a great way to just start. I do some form of this before every single strength workout. I do thoracic extension. Often I'll do it. Sit up here over a roller. I'll show you what that looks like. Now, the roller's bigger, so it's going to have a bigger range of motion. They also sell these guys in half rollers, which is awesome. If you have a roller on hand and you try a full extension and it's too much, the half roller is an awesome option. You can get it on Amazon. If you don't have a roller at all, don't worry about it. But if you do, grab it and try it and see what it's like. Now, I'm going to encourage you all to get a roller. If you've never ever rolled in your entire life, this may be the way you want to start. It's a physical therapy white roller, and they're fairly forgiving and soft. They're kind of like a dense marshmallow. I have a black one. Before workouts, when I'm rolling my body, I only use black. I would not use this. But I just grabbed it. It's downstairs. So if we need to have a discussion all things rollers, mention that on Facebook. We'll get that going. All right, so same thing. Right where your bra is, lay back, take a breath in, and I just kind of arch over with an exhale and find the floor. And again, I just got a lovely little self-adjustment there when I did this. You can hang out here and breathe. Okay, now just be no weird movements when you're getting up. Take your time, don't rush anything. So that's a way for you to sort of first assess and then train some of that mobility by extending over a roller. And then you could sit back down and try the rotation side to side and see how that feels. And remember, without your hands here, you can just do that sit and sort of reach and grab and see how that feels. Questions? Let me know.